Wolf.
You know, I forgot to also mention about this. Let me talk about it. This is regarding the things that Tyler Perry is talking about doing that I don't agree with. This is DJ Wolf Live. All right. You know, there's a couple of things that I do not agree with regarding what Tyler Perry is talking about doing here. One of the things is, for one thing, Tyler Perry, as noble as what he's doing right now with the opening, the official opening of his studio, and a couple of things got pointed out over the weekend on YouTube that made sense. The media itself, I mean, it's noble the fact that he has one of the largest studios in North America, but the media is pointing out more about that than anything else. Not the fact that it's a game changer for the future of African Americans in cinema, but the fact that it's big, it's massive. You know, that's pretty much the only thing that the media, from what I heard, has been talking about. Here's the thing that's also kind of screwed up. Tyler Perry, in addition to him opening up the studios and naming the 12 studios, the giant size studios, by the way, to noted black entertainers and directors, he also decided to house women and LGBT, and he's going to break ground of some new complexes for them, and also to train them in the business. He never mentioned once about starting a similar thing for black men and boys for that same thing. Never mentioned it. Not once. Okay? And I'm thinking, for a guy who had been abused during his childhood by both men and women, physically, mentally, and sexually, you would think that he would want to start some kind of thing similar for men and boys to show them that if he can come out from out the fire and deal with what he had to deal with, then he can start something where he can actually teach those men and boys the same thing on how he got out and how he stayed out and never went back to the mess. He hasn't offered that. He offered something like that up front for LGBT and women, which brings me to this. I'm wondering if the reason why he identifies with the women and LGBT is because he's closer to that subject than he is about trying to build young men and boys. I'm just saying, you know, because I thought that was really strange. And a lot of the movies, and that's the bulk of his movies, and this is fact, this is nothing new, the majority of the films that he does involve empowering black women in many of his movies. That's a fact. You know, the only one or it might look like he was empowering a man was the one about Daddy's Little Girls. That was it. The only one I could think of. But the majority of the movie of all women, empowering women and building women up and blah, blah, blah. that's one of the things about Tyler Perry that I kind of don't always agree with. I do think he's a great filmmaker. There's no question about it. He's done great strides and done great things in his years of filmmaking. And he's been in the business for quite some time. But my thing is, until he recognizes that you have to build men, young men and boys in our communities, just like you're trying to build women and LGBT in our communities, then, brother, you building this studio, you're kind of losing the mark for the real reason why you should get behind why you built the studio as well, for the betterment of building your people. Don't forget that. If you lose sight of that, what was the point? You know, what was the point? And the fact is, you are just the first studio or major studio run by African American ever. Spearhead and own outright. We need more of that. We need more entrepreneurs like you. You know? And by you having a program initiative like you're doing with the LGBT and women that you plan on putting right on your studio complex, you should do the same thing for men and boys too. So that you can build entrepreneurships for our young brothers and men. The same you were doing for them, the LGBT and women. Like I said, you need to bring that full circle, bro, because otherwise, you're just kind of fronting to me. You're still catering to a certain audience. You're still catering to a certain people. And for us, as far as making money, yes. But as far as building, it seems like you're on the other team, so to speak. At least that's the way I see it. This is DJ Wolf Live, and I'm out.